Hello and welcome to this new tutorial on making custom stories for Amnesia: The Dark Descent. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make areas or triggers so that you can make things happen when the player enters a room or a specific area. So let's get started. So we've got two rooms. This room is the room that the player begins in. And this room is where we want our area, so we want something to happen when the player enters this room. And in this case, for this example, I'm just gonna make the door close behind him. So let's start by creating an area. So go to areas and then make a new area of the type script. And let's adjust the size a bit. So 4 on the y-axis so that it's the same height as the room, and then my room is 12 on the x. So now we've got an area that covers the entire room. So yeah, we're gonna rename the area and just call it room 2 area. Then save the map. Then go into your script for the map, and then in the onStart function we're going to use a function called addEntityCollideCallback, which is right here, addEntityCollideCallback right here. So let's just copy this into our script. Normally I don't copy paste every function, I remember them, but this is to help you understand what's going on. So the first parameter, as you could see, is called parent name, and this is the first entity that we want to collide. And in this case it's the player, so we're just going to type player, and in the second parameter we're going to type the name of the area, room 2 area. Oops. So this callback is for when the player collides with the room 2 area, and then we enter the name of the function that we want the game to call when the player collides with the room 2 area. So we're just going to type collide room 2. The fourth parameter is whether or not to remove the collide back once after the first after they've collided once. We're just going to type true because we don't want all the actions to happen more than once. And the states is when to call the callback, and if we type 0, then the function will be called both when the player enters the area and when he leaves. If we type 1, it'll only be when he enters, and if we type -1, it'll only be when he leaves. But we're going to type 1. Okay, so when the player enters this area or collides with it. So now we have to create the function we named collide room 2. So let's get the syntax for this function, which is right here, the syntax for the callback. Oops. Copy, and then here, and of course instead of func we're gonna call it collide room 2 because that's the function that we indicated to the game that we want to be called. So when the player collides with the room, with the area, this function will be called. So let's make the door close, and to do this we use the function called setSwingDoorClosed. setSwingDoorClosed, and it has 3 parameters: the name, and whether it should be closed, and whether or not to use effects. Let's copy this. Okay, so the name is the door that we want, the function to close or open. And in this case, if we click the door, select it, we can see its name, which is mansion_1. So let's copy this, or just type it, mansion1. And the second parameter, is whether the door should be closed or if it should be opened. And in this case, we want it to be closed, so true to closed. And effects is whether you know, choose a face. And I think in this case it means whether or not the door should, you know, be visually opened. So if we put this to false, the door would just instantly be opened or be closed. And if we turn it to true, set it to true, we will actually see the door open, and this is what we want, or close, of course. Okay, so let's save, and if we save the map, let's go test in game. So reload, and sorry, my fault. Unlock door. I don't want it to be locked because then it's going to be hard to enter. Quick map reload. Okay, so we can open the door, and when we enter, it should close. So let's look at the door, and when we touch the area, which is about right there, bam. Okay, so it closes. And that's pretty much that. It, whatever. Great, cool, fantastic, nice, awesome. Anyway, I hope you understood any of that. Please give me some feedback on these video tutorials. So yeah, see you later.